I will be talking about the calculations we can do with the two examples shown in the PowerPoint for chapter 1. The first slide is this one I'm showing to you. And what I will do is I will write down this information in a piece of paper. Then I will explain you the calculations later by sharing with you this piece of paper. So that's the information I just wrote. Total fats from is 5 grams, total carbs 35, and total proteins 9 grams. And the calorie content is always 4 grams in the case of carbs, 4 calories per gram in the case of carbs and proteins, and 9 calories per gram in the case of fat. So how do we convert this into calories to find total calories? We take the number of grams times the calorie content for fats, which is 9 calories per gram. The grams will cancel out, and I will end with calories. In this case, 45 calories. For carbs, we multiply by 4 because 4 calories per every gram. So times 4 calories per gram. And this will give us 140 calories. And in proteins, I have 9 grams times 4 calories per gram, 36 calories in total. Okay. To find the total calories, I just need to add them all. And this will give me, and then it gave me 221 calories, which is pretty close if I round the number to the 220 shown in the label. Okay, so this is always the way we can use this as a formula. Whatever the amount of grams is, you times 9 or multiply by 9 in the case of fats, and by 4 in the case of calories, of proteins and carbs, sorry, to find the total calories. And this was just this example. The other example is about the sandwich. Just will write down this information here again, as I did it with the other one. Well, according to the information in the label, I have a beef, ground beef, and it says it has 42 grams of fats and 42 grams of protein. And it doesn't say anything about carbs. Hamburger bun. It says it has 30 grams of fat, of carbs. By the way, in some PowerPoints, you will see the letter CHO to refer to carbs. And then 2 grams of proteins. And it doesn't say anything about fats. And then the onion rings. It says it has 5 grams of carbs and 20 grams of fats. And there is no protein in here. And then you will calculate total grams. 62 grams. Total grams of protein, 44 grams. And total grams of carbs, 35 grams. I now need to convert this into calories. For fats, this will be 62 times 9. For proteins, this will be 44 times 4, and for carbs, 34 times 4. Okay, what we are really doing here, and I will write down the results here, but if I want to show the calculations with the units to know how do we end with calories, that's simple. You have 62 grams times 9 calories per gram. So the grams will cancel out and you will end with calories. 558 calories. 176 calories. And so 140 calories. This will give me total calories. So I could calculate total calories here by adding 558 plus 176 plus 140. And this will give me 874 calories. We eat the sandwich, we get 874 calories total, and 558 comes from fats, 176 calories from proteins, and 140 calories from carbs. I could convert calories from each nutrient or of each nutrient to percentage of the total. Okay, you take the value for which you want to do the conversion, this one, 558 divided by the total, which is 874 times 100. Here, 176 divided by 874 times 100. And 140 divided by 874 times 100. If you want this as a formula, I can tell you, you take the fraction for which you want to do your calculation or value for which you want to calculate the percentage divided by the total times 100. In any other example, that's the only thing you have to do. So the value for which I want to find the percentage, I want to know what this amount of calories, what the what percentage it represents for in this total. So when I do this calculation, we're to 64%. So 20%, 10%. And if you want to be sure that your calculations are correct, you just need to check if they all together give you 100% or 99.9, because if you are rounding, maybe you are not exactly on 100, but close to. And how do we use these numbers? Well, in the lecture for chapter 2, we will see that there are some recommendations saying that in our daily intake, carbs should make like 45 to 65% of your total calorie intake. So it means this meal is low in carbs. We will learn this in chapter 2, and I don't want to spend time, but yeah, these percentages here allow us to compare to the recommendations and see if we are meeting what is expected. For fats, again, is between 20 to 35% of your calories in the day should come from fats. And in this example, it's 64, so too much fats in this meal. Some people like the ketogenic diet and they increase the amount of fats. So in chapter 5, we will see that it's not only the amount of fats, what is important is also the type of fats. And then protein should be between 10 to 35%. And in this meal, we are okay because we are 20% protein. So it means we are within the expected or the recommendations. And that's it. These are the 2 examples shown in chapter number 1. And we will do similar calculations when reading nutrition labels. I hope this was helpful. And again, this video is related to those slides shown in the video for chapter 1. So I encourage you to have a look into this chapter if you haven't done so. We will see other examples in upcoming videos, okay?